Welcome to All in Motion. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening from myself, Scar City, and Melissa Jackson. Welcome to All in Motion. We have a special interview for you. So thank you all for tuning in wherever you are throughout the world. We have someone here that is on their way, my way to 300. Ladies and gentlemen, Orly Amor.
Oh, thank you so much, Jake. Thank you for having me.
Was that okay?
Yeah, that was
Okay.
awesome. That
All
was
right.
awesome. That was professionally done for sure.
Thank you so much. Now this is amazing because I think the best opportunities are made when you do them. I'm not saying last minute, but I want to say thank you for your patience. It was amazing meeting you. Everybody, if you don't know, check out the Owl app. It's where I met the amazing Orly Amor. And thank you for being patient and being flexible.
Hey, yeah, thank you so much for also being flexible because this was on the fly, but those are the best, aren't they?
100%, 100%. You want to
Yeah.
just so as we get into it, we want to introduce yourself, and then we want to talk about this my way to 300.
Yes. Well, my goal for this year is to have 300 podcast, to be on 300 podcasts. And so this is really exciting for me. And thank you for allowing me to be here.
100%, 100%. So you just want to let the All Motion audience know, and then your audience a little bit about who you are, where you're from, and
Yes.
what you have going on.
Thank you so much. So, I am a business coach for public speakers and entrepreneurs, and the only one in the world that guarantees they'll make 150K their first year in public speaking, or I work with them until they do. I'm an international speaker full time for the past 27 years. Ooh, I'm dating myself. And I'm also the trustee and founder of You Are My Light Foundation. We are building healing centers for rescued victims of human trafficking, sex, and labor slavery so that we can give them back their God-given right to life, freedom, education, and autonomy.
That's amazing and amazing. So we can keep track, not to put you on blast. Where are we at with the 300 episodes so far?
So we are right now, this would be, I think, number 10 for this month, which is actually January, but we are 1st of February. So I think we're on track. My goal is to, now I'm announcing it to everybody that is in the podcasting space. I haven't announced it since the beginning of the year because I was still getting into making sure my website is up and a lot of things, are in motion. So yes, I am really excited. I think I'm going to do it within 6 months. I just told another podcasters that I will make it in 6 months. It's about three a day. If I could do that, we're above our 300 mark.
That's amazing. That's just amazing because you're taking time out of your busy schedule to, interact and then meet people. And I believe we met briefly at Podfest. Do you want to just share quickly a little bit about Podfest and the people that were not there, why they should be there next year?
Yes, so definitely Podfest is an amazing event. There's thousands of people that come through the door. I had a booth there that actually somebody else was operating for me, well, two of my colleagues. And Podfest is really an amazing opportunity to meet podcasters, to meet other, if you will, vendors that are providing services for podcasters. So all in all, it's a great event. There were some celebrities there. I'm also a part of the Owl app, OWWLL, and it's really how we met, Jake. So it's really cool to say that there's so many opportunities for networking and collaboration. That was really amazing. I was the last speaker on the Podfest whole journey this year because I was on a cruise ship with 450 marketers. It's called the Marketers Cruise, and so super exciting to be here with you. But at the same time, letting you know that Podfest is a great networking environment as well. And so yeah, I'm always looking to network and to collaborate and to be with other people.
That's amazing. And what would you say to those individuals out there that are either on the fence with starting a podcast or potentially starting a business, but they're just scared to make the leap or pull the trigger?
Well, the first question is always, what is your passion? Are you willing to do it for free for the rest of your life? Yeah, of course, we are all here to make a living as well as, maybe even thrive, but, do it with something you love. Like I love speaking, therefore, I do great at it and I make money at it. I love coaching, so I do great at it. But I'm not yet ready to pull the plug on being a podcaster myself. I have an idea out there. I do have I have a great following. I have everything is great, but do I want to invest the time in doing my own podcast or do I want to be just on other people's podcasts like I am right now? And so that's a question people need to ask themselves. Do I want to be in business for myself? Do I want to go through the ups and downs and turmoils that might come with being an entrepreneur? I always say to people that this is the hardest part or the hardest choice you'll make. The choice between being an employee versus being an employer or an entrepreneur. You could be an entrepreneur and just be a solopreneur. And it's two different animals. And by asking yourself, do I really just want to be an entrepreneur and take all the hits and then knowing that I could do whatever I want whenever I want? It's really not that. People think that, oh, entrepreneurs make more money and well, we keep more money, that's for sure. But at the end of the day, there are ups and downs that are constant in being an entrepreneur. But the pain is worth the gain.
Absolutely. I really appreciate you sharing that. I had a seafood business a long time ago, back in between actually in between my deployments to Iraq and Afghanistan. And
Wow.
it was a great opportunity, but unfortunately it didn't work out where I grew up in Williamsport, Pennsylvania. So amazing experience, learned a lot. Fortunately, it didn't work out, but I learned so many lessons. And I believe that's the key, like what you just said about learning from, I don't call them mistakes. I personally call them learning experiences. And I believe that's important.
Absolutely.
That's the biggest takeaway. And, we'll get you out of here. Just have a few last questions for you. As we do on All Motion, one of the areas we like to speak about is mental health. And if you feel comfortable sharing, are there any, for those that are out there that are struggling with just living paycheck to paycheck, feel like they don't have a purpose, and that ties into purpose because that's something we speak about is purpose. Like, what is your purpose? But is there anything you struggle with in terms of mental health, things out there that were difficult to overcome, and how did you overcome them? And for those out there that feel like they purpose or struggling with mental health, what would you say, or if you feel comfortable sharing any of those life things that you were able to overcome?
Absolutely. And thank you for asking me that question because I do share my personal story. I was a beaten up child. I was molested 4 times before the age of 14. I was raped 3 times before the age of 22, twice gang raped, 9 months apart, left for dead. I was also married to a very abusive husband, both mentally and physically. So as a result of that, I had gained a morbid amount of weight. I was 428 pounds at my heaviest, and I had 4 abortions. So to say the least, I have some knowledge of what it's like to go through any kind of mental health or hardship in life. And I think that it's the wanting to get out of that predicament, because that predicament can keep us very much of a prisoner to our own self mental environment, right? If we want to get out, if we really, really want to get out of it, there are so many things we can do. My doorway out was learning through books, watching The Secret, which is also a book, but it's better to watch the movie, The Secret, and knowing that everything around me I created, and also trusting God. That was a big thing for me. I trust God wholeheartedly because I had a talk with God when I was raped the first time by gangs. I just literally talked to God. I was like, I'm in too much pain. Can you kill me now? Can you take me right now? I am ready to go. Like I was in so much pain. And then the second time, you would not even think it happens once, let alone twice. And so when it happened the second time, my conversation with God was completely different. It was like, if you're not going to take me now, do me a favor and show me what I'm supposed to do in order to make my life a purpose. So here is where the answer comes, Jake, for your listeners, my listeners. Your purpose is the fact that you're already here. Your purpose is that God has something in store for you. What do you want to do about it? The lessons we learn are just lessons so that we can teach others. The things that happen to us don't happen to us, they happen for us. to teach us lessons that we can pass on. Pay it forward. That's what I feel like I'm doing with these type of podcast guesting, is that I want to share my message, but I also want to share hope, paying it forward, giving back to the community, doing something, even building my healing centers for rescued victims of human trafficking. It was in process. Like, I learned all about it in 2015. I did nothing until 2019, 2020, after the pandemic. And when we were coming out of the pandemic, I was learning more and more about how horrific and evil some of this planet is. And although I don't have children and I was not trafficked, I do know what it's like not to have a voice. So if you are hearing this, know that God loves you. We love you. You do mean something and you do matter. So just find a purpose that makes your heart and your soul sing, and go after it.
Wow. 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 Thank you so much for being vulnerable, number one, and number two, sharing that here on All Emotion. And lastly, how can people reach out to you? How can people find you?
I am on social media. If you look up Orly Amor, ORLYAMOR, on Instagram, Orly Amor Business, I think, is my LinkedIn. I am Orly Amor. It's on Instagram and Twitter, which is X, and Facebook. I'm all over the place. If you look up my picture, you'll find me. I'm not that hard to find. You can just go to my website, meetorlyamor.com, MEET, orlyamor.com, and you can always contribute to our foundation at youaremylight.org. So it's YOUAARE, my MY, light, LIGHT.org.
Amazing. And lastly, Orly, do you have any last thoughts, things you want to share with your audience and the All Emotion audience?
If you have a message, somebody is willing to pay for it. That's my tagline. Paying it forward doesn't mean you have to be paid for it, but do something for someone else on a daily basis. It will make your heart sing. It will make a difference in the planet, and you only have to save one.
Thank you so much again for your time. And from myself, Scar City, and Melissa Jackson, follow us, allmotionpodcast.com. Take care and be safe.